Hey, welcome back to Stress Relief Tips for Teens. Let's face it, us adults can use this too. All right, today we're talking about how a negative emotion happens. How do we get these negative emotions that spin us out of the best person that we want to be during our day? When you're at school, you can start out with the best intention and say, this is going to be a great day, until you run into another human being. Everything's great until you hit another human being. Not literally hit them, but you come face to face with another human being and perhaps they say something or do something that spins you out of the, it's gonna be a great day. What causes these negative emotions? Again, in the last video, we spoke about us being the director, us being the person in charge of how much power we give to people's opinions about us. Can you imagine how much mind space would be freed up if we let go and we stopped caring about what people think and we expand all the beautiful gifts that God has given us and know that we're enough just as we are? Well, we're moving in that direction. So today, let's focus on a little bit of how is a negative emotion caused? What causes these? First and foremost, there has to be a thought. It's actually pretty simple. There has got to be a thought. Something that you're thinking of or a distressing memory pops in between the two ears and starts spinning our mind out of a place of peace. What happens when it's a distressing memory or a distressing thought? Because let's face it, you can have good thoughts. You have good thoughts during your day. You can have a thought, you get a good grade, or let's say you have a really good conversation with a friend and you walk away, you're like, wow, that was really cool. I have a really happy thought right now. That helps the brain to light up in positive ways. And negative thoughts also cause the brain to light up. They actually release something in the brain that we can become addicted to. So we can actually become addicted to negative thinking. What? Yes, we can. So this is important to know. Stay with me on this. You have a distressing thought. You're the gatekeeper here between the two ears. Something happens and you see it as negative. What happens to the earth suit, our bodies? As soon as you think that negative thought, shazam, the body's like, all right, I'll follow that lead. So you get the zzz or the disconnect in your body. Does this face look familiar here? Ever have that face? Deer in the headlights? Shock, not believing what you just experienced. Shazam, you get the negative emotion there. So there's 3 different steps. You have a distressing thought. You are the landlord. You give it power. The body gets involved. Zzz. It gets that shock, stress response. Oh my gosh, I'm under attack. Somebody said something about me that's not true. Then the negative emotion happens. What are your negative emotions? What are those emotions in your life that you're really familiar with? Because usually you've been walking hand in hand with them for a while. Some people, their main negative emotion is fear. Their instant response is, I'm afraid that I'm not going to be able to handle this situation. I'm not okay. I won't be able to handle it. Another possibility is doubt. I doubt myself. Fear is different than self-doubt. Self-doubt usually turns in on itself and it says things like, oh my gosh, it's my fault. What did I do? Holy cow, I shouldn't have said that. And we start shoulding all over the place. I shouldn't have done this. I shouldn't have said that. I shouldn't have said this. And then the body gets spun into the negative emotion. So what are we to do when this happens? Well, because stress manifests in the earth suit, our greatest place of strength is to address stress where it manifests. Basically, where stress shows up, it shows up in our earth suit. In the last video, we talked a little bit about an invitation for you to pause and think about, where does stress show up for you? Do you feel it in your shoulders? Is it hard to breathe when you're stressed? How do you know when you are stressed out? It's worth writing it down so that you can have high noticing. Whatever you drag out into the light loses its grip on you, because then you're active participant. That means you're ready to move through the stress now because you see it. When you don't see it, you're just all spun and worried and can't function and out of control. When you do see it and you know where stress shows up in your body, then you're able to drop in a technique. So here's today's technique. It's EFT, the Emotional Freedom Technique. This is a very powerful technique, one that I have been doing over a decade and teaching the youth and adults and my own kids who are now 19, 22, and 24. At the time when I was going through cancer, they were 8, 10, and 12. One of the first techniques I taught them was how to do the EFT. Why? Because it works very quickly. So here's how you do it. You think about something that stressed you out, just one thing. It's very important that you just choose one thing, not lots of things, because that one thing, believe it or not, is linked to a lot of things. Just like one tree in a forest, there's a huge root system that's connected to a lot of other trees. So sometimes if you knock down that one tree, it clears out a whole area in your forest, the forest of your mind. So think of one thing that stressed you out over the last week, and just close your eyes and tune into that one thing. Allow your body to remember what you felt like when you were in that stressed out moment. Perhaps it was all of your teachers giving you homework at the same time. Perhaps it was a friend that believed something that someone said about you that wasn't true. Perhaps you experienced a grade that didn't reflect the amount that you've studied. Perhaps it's not enough sleep. Whatever it is that really stressed you out, just choose one thing. Shouldn't take you very long. Drop into that moment, and then remember what you looked like, what you felt like, and what you sounded like when you were stressed out. And then tune into where you feel that stress in your body. And think about one main emotion. What did you feel? Was it sadness? Was it anger, frustration, fear, self-doubt, worry? What was your main feeling? Overwhelm? Too much on my plate, overwhelm? That's a good one. Tune into one main feeling. Once you have that main feeling, just write it down on a piece of paper so you have it. So I'm going to go with the feeling frustration today, because frustration is something that happens to a lot of us, because it's when circumstance or things outside of us aren't turning out the way we want them to. And so what happens? We get frustrated. It's usually around not having the outcomes that we wanted to have happen in our life. So I'm tuning into frustration. As I'm doing this technique of EFT, I simply invite you to tune into your main emotion. Even though I'm saying frustrated, perhaps you feel angry or sad. Just that you've tuned into it and you've closed your eyes. Trust your body to stay there, because you'll still get the results of the EFT. The best way to show you how to do it is to actually just do it and jump in. So feel free to follow along as I am doing this. So I'm going to choose a situation that, since it goes along with the theme from last video, that someone said something about me that was not true. And it made me feel really frustrated because it wasn't true about me. So I would start tapping on the side of my hands. And I'm actually holding the camera too, so I need a third hand. But see the karate chop point? They call this the karate chop point. So I'm just going to take my other hand and I'm just going to tap on that soft spot of my hand. As you say, even though I'm really frustrated because someone said something about me that wasn't true, I am willing today to deeply and completely love and accept myself. Even though I was really frustrated, as you're tapping on the side of your hand, even though I was really, really frustrated and I couldn't even think straight because I was so frustrated, I'm willing to love and accept myself just as I am. I was so frustrated, I couldn't even talk to my friends afterwards because all I was thinking about was what this person said about me. I am willing to deeply and completely love and accept myself anyway. And then you're just going to add a choice. And I choose to give myself permission to remember what it feels like to be confident and peaceful. I give my body permission, and I choose to feel what it feels like to be confident and peaceful. So even though I'm frustrated, I love and accept myself, and I choose to give my body permission to feel confident and peaceful. It's okay, body. It's not real. It's imagined, and it's that other person's imagination. and I give you permission to relax. So as you're tapping on that karate chop point with your other hand, you're tapping on the side of your hand, then you move to just these series of points with just a reminder phrase, and you choose the main emotion: frustration, 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 frustration. Wow, I was so frustrated. I was so frustrated when that happened. And then under your arm, and then the top of your head. And you keep saying the word frustrated, your main emotion. I was frustrated, so frustrated. Oh my gosh, I was so frustrated. I can't believe how frustrated I was. I couldn't even think. I was so frustrated. My body was so frustrated. I choose to return to peace and confidence, even though I'm so frustrated. I choose peace and confidence. I've been frustrated before, and I've moved through it. I've had really frustrating times before, and I've returned to confidence and peace. I choose to do it again. I choose to return to confidence and peace, easily and naturally. It's okay, body. That was then, this is now. You're safe. I choose to feel peace and confidence. I choose to surprise myself at how easily I'm able to feel peace and confidence, even though I was so frustrated. I choose to surprise myself at how easily it is for me to return to peace and confidence. So that's just a crash course on EFT. I have another video at my website. You can check it out, laurenemiller.com. And what I'd like to do today is just invite you to email me what stresses you out. I'm going to go through these emails very thoughtfully, and I'm going to pick out those emails that I feel a lot of people feel that same stressor. So please take time and email me, info@laurenemiller.com. Again, that's info@laurenemiller.com. Please share with me what is stressing you out at school, outside of school, and I will thoughtfully and prayerfully look at those emails and choose one of them and provide a technique on one of the videos as we're moving forward with stress relief tips for teens. Enjoy practicing the EFT technique. It's fun, and you'll feel your body relax right away.